One day I woke up in bed and I had no idea what my name was. I had no idea where I was. I had no idea what I was doing in life. Despite this, I knew intuitively that I had to get out of bed, get dressed, make breakfast, and start my day. But almost immediately, I noticed something very strange, and it wasn't the fact that I didn't know who I was, or where I was, or what I was doing in life. It was the fact that my arms, and my legs, and my body were all moving completely on their own without me even having to think about it. Almost like I was possessed, almost like I was a puppet. I felt confused by this and a bit frightened, and thought to myself, well, just relax, go with it. If I'm possessed, if I'm being controlled, so be it. Just don't freak out. You notice, while you don't have any control of your body, you do indeed have control of your eyeballs and your thoughts. You are able to look around and you're able to have an independent consciousness and observe everything going on around you. So you get ready for the day, you have your breakfast, you do all the usual things, and you get in your car and start driving in this strange world. Again, all without even having to think about it. Your limbs and your legs, your hands, everything are all moving completely on their own. As you start driving down the road, you notice that it's very, very dark outside. You move your eyeballs up and you see that there's no sky, there's no sun, there's no clouds, there's nothing of the sort. Your watch does say that it is daytime. It's about 9 a.m. However, there's no light. There's no snow on the ground, so you're certainly nowhere that's so far north to not have any daylight at this time of day. But you also notice when you move your eyeballs completely to the left that about 100 yards on either side of this road that you're driving on, there is a big wall of TV static. And the static goes all the way up into the sky until it sort of fades out into this blackness. After 10 minutes of forced driving, you notice that the street lights end, but the road continues. It gets darker and darker and darker. You desperately try to scream, to cry to God for help. You try with all your might, but to no avail. You notice that you are also unable to speak. You are also unable to breathe. That your breathing seems to be going on its own, just as your body is. I think to myself, what in the hell is this? What's going on? Why is this happening? Did I die and go to hell? Is this hell? After swimming through this heavy darkness for what felt like an eternity, the car approaches a small orb of light, giving off the smallest amount of light, just a little dimly lit light bulb in the darkness. Underneath the light is a pile of blank papers roughly 10 foot tall and a filing cabinet. This body, this thing, this autonomous vessel of a body and my helpless consciousness looking through the eyes of it, sit down and place the blank sheets of paper in the filing cabinet one by one. How tremendously boring this was. There were so many sheets of paper. I knew this would take forever. I had no doubt in my mind at this point that this place was hell. Whoever I was on earth, I must have done something truly horrible to deserve this. An eternity goes by. Boredom, emptiness, not knowing who or what or where I am, all starts to overcome me. If I only had control of my body, I could escape this desolation. I could get out of this strange place. After so much time passing, I finally see my left hand place the last sheet of blank paper into the filing cabinet and close a drawer. Me and this body get up from the chair, get back in the car, and begin the drive back home. However, this drive looked different than the way we came. The car was dead silent, the buildings gray, the air heavy. I truly felt like nothingness. I truly felt alone. And I knew that wherever the car is going, things are not going to get better for me. I arrive at a gray tomb of a building that said restaurant. The letters so faded and old, the door covered in dust and chipping paint. My machine body enters the restaurant and sits down in front of the meal. I didn't feel hunger or thirst. All I felt was emptiness. I sat in front of the meal for 10 minutes or so. Then my hands grabbed the plate, carrying the food over to a rusty metal door in the wall, similar to a laundry chute. I drop the plate into the door, and I start leaving the restaurant. There was no smell in this world, no color, no nothing. As I was walking out of this restaurant, I heard a distant, foggy, dusty tune coming from the corner. I could barely make out the figure of a woman sitting at a piano in the thick, dusty darkness. This tune was no tune at all. It wasn't a song. The notes were desperate cries of a tortured soul, crying with all their might, but to no avail. I did not have to speak with this woman to know what she was feeling. Those notes told me everything I needed to know. The notes sobbing from deep in the body, not from the throat like a child throwing a temper tantrum, but deep from in the guts, the way someone sobs when mourning the death of a loved one. Whoever this woman was on earth, she must have done something truly horrible to deserve this. I wanted to tell her that I understand your emptiness, that I resonate with these notes, but my body continued out the door. Unfortunately, the car I drove here was no longer outside, and the dark little world seemed to get even darker than before. My body turned and walked down the street. As I walk, I see people sitting in the middle of the street with their heads down, others facing the wall with their heads down. A young boy covering his face with an umbrella. No sounds, no emotion, no life, nothing in this place. After some time walking, the world begins to fade off into a dark void just as before. The street lights ended, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a little flower on the ground, probably a violet. The blue color was so rich and so vibrant. This little flower looked so perfect, especially in the darkness surrounding it. Despite being a plant, this little thing was so much more alive than I was. So much more alive than that woman at the piano. Much more alive than anything in this world. I felt so angry. I felt so angry that I was being taunted by this flower. And after what felt like 12 hours of walking in cold nothingness, I suddenly stopped. My body was stiff, and I felt as if I was made out of wood. My mind had ceased all activity. I was still conscious. I still felt as if I existed, but there wasn't a single thought in my mind. I stood there paralyzed in this darkness and heard someone breathing very heavily. Whatever it was, whoever it was huge. Its breath sounded like a powerful wind that could blow down trees. "Is that you, God?" My mouth managed to speak the words, but my voice sounded like a whisper. Like a bomb going off, an incredibly loud voice said, "How is it you can hear me?" The voice sounded very familiar, like someone I've known for a very, very long time. I said to the voice, "I've suffered enough. I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am. I can't take this torment. Please kill me. I don't want to live anymore." The voice answered, "No, I am not God, but you are indeed my creation. You see, I am an author writing a novel, about you, the main character. This world you are in is in fact hell, but not necessarily a real one based on objective reality. This world is a manifestation of all your pain, frustration, and disappointment from the world of the living. So you once had goals. You once had dreams and passions, but the people around you did their very best to destroy your ambitions. They convinced you you are nothing, and that you will never get what you want. You were put into this world by yourself and the people around you collectively. And who are you? I asked the voice. The voice said, I am you.